Hello everyone, I am Vaishali from Statistics Department here at College Meerut. My now uh, my topic is design of experiment. This is the branch of applied statistics. Now I will discuss one by one. This is the content. First one I discuss introduction, then basic terminologies, example of design of experiment, needs of design of experiment, principle of experimental design, types of experimental design. Now let us start with introduction. Design of experiment means how to design an experiment in the sense that how the observation should be obtained to answer a query in a valid, efficient, and economical way. If the experiment is designed properly, keeping in mind the question, then the proper analysis of data provides the valid statistical inferences. If the experiment is not well designed, then the statistical inferences is questionable and may be invalid. It is important to understand it. First, we should know the basic terminology used in the experimental design. Now, the basic terminology under the design of experiment, which I included here, is experimental unit, experiment, treatment, factor, replication, experimental error. Example of design of experiment. Suppose some varieties of fish food is to be investigated on some species of fishes. The food is placed in the water tanks containing the fishes. The response is the increase in the weight of the fish. The experimental unit is the tank, as the treatment is applied to the tank, not to the fish. Note that if the experimenter had taken the fish in hand and placed the food in the mouth of the fish, then the fish would have been the experimental unit, as long as each of the fish got an independent scoop of food. Now, why we study design of experiment, that is needs of design of experiment. One of the main objective of design of experiment is how to verify the hypothesis in an efficient and economical way. In the context of hypothesis, in the context of null hypothesis, of the equality of several means of normal populations having the same variances, the ANOVA technique can be used, and such techniques are based on certain statistical assumptions. If these assumptions are violated, the outcome of the test of a hypothesis then may also be faulty and the analysis of data may be meaningless. So the main question is how to obtain the data such that the assumptions are made and the data is ready available for the application of tools like ANOVA. The designing of such a mechanism to obtain such data is achieved by the design of experiment. Now, some basic principle of design of experiment. There are three basic principles of design of experiment given by Sir Ronald A. Fisher. The first one is replication, second one is randomization, and the last one is local control. Now, I will discuss one by one. The first one is randomization. The principle of randomization involves the allocation of treatment to experimental unit at random. Randomization means allocation of treatment to experimental units at random to avoid any bias in the experiment. In the development of ANOVA, we assume that the errors are random and independent. In turn, the observation also becomes random. The principle of randomization ensures the two main points. The first one is it eliminates the systematic bias, and the second one is it is needed to obtain a representative sample from the population. Now, the second principle is replication. In the replication principle, any treatment is repeated a number of times. Replication means any treatment is repeated a number of times to obtain a valid and more reliable estimate than which is possible with one observation only. Replication provides an efficient way of increasing the precision of an experiment. The precision increases with the increase of number of observations. The third principle is local control, also known as error control. The replication is used with local control to reduce the experimental error. For example, if the experimental units are divided into different groups such that they are homogeneous within the blocks, then the variation among the blocks is eliminated and ideally the error component will contain the variation due to treatment only. This will in turn increase the efficiency. Now I will discuss